Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Nathan Gobes, filling in for Jeffrey Davis this morning. And today we are the Kings of Cannabis. This is the Kings of Cannabis show, formerly known as In the Weeds. And I'm joined by Walter Sullivan. Welcome, Walter.
Yeah, when do you think we'll stop saying the formally, even though it's the first day we've been using Kings of Cannabis?
Probably when we get Jeffrey back in. We'll let that be the first official
We're
date.
going to get into some artificial stuff right now.
We
Artificial
are.
intelligence.
We are. Our next guest, Carl Palme, founder and CEO of BoundlessRobotics. Welcome, Carl.
Thank you.
So, Carl, why don't you tell us a little bit about BoundlessRobotics and how that ties into the cannabis space?
Absolutely. So at BoundlessRobotics, we are making an automated, low-cost, extremely easy-to-use device for growing cannabis at home. And so we're trying to enable adults who live in states where it's legal to grow cannabis at home to just do it. And we're trying to get rid of as much of the risk as possible.
And how does it work?
So essentially, you take it out of the box, you plug it in, and then through a mobile app, you decide what strain you're going to grow. You pair it to the machine, you pair it to the nutrients, and then a user, mostly all they have to do is just change the water once a week and trim it. And after 9 to 16 weeks, depending on the strain, they're going to get on average 2 ounces of flour. And it's going to be good, high-quality stuff.
That became my problem with goldfish. I forgot to change the water, Nathan. Boy, better leave that alone. So the issue, I have a friend that someone gave him a plant on 420 and thought he could grow it.
Yeah.
$300 later, after buying lights and everything, it took off. It's not necessarily. It's not like just growing is anything else.
It's not
is a skill,
easy.
and it takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work, and it's not easy. And the way I got into this is my wife and I happen to have black thumbs. We kill every single plant that's under our care. And if we had plastic plants, we would kill them. And so, essentially...
I didn't think about that for a minute.
So my background is in engineering. I've been working in robotics. I've been working in AI. And before we had kids, I figured, all right, plants shouldn't be this hard. I should be able to grow some basil or some microgreens, whatever. So I started working on this project as a hobby. And when cannabis became legal in 2016, it was legal. You could grow, but there was no dispensary to go buy any cannabis. And I figured, all right, this is a good opportunity to really give the power back to the people and allow them to grow. And so I changed my focus to cannabis.
Well, and it's cool. I'm learning more about how when you actually think about artificial intelligence, it really is human based. Mm-hmm. But a human may only think 7 things at one time.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence can think 200 and more things at one time, and that's what makes it a great tool to use, especially for someone that doesn't know how to, that has a black thumb.
Precisely. And I mean, the way I think about robotics and AI is that these are superhuman things. They can, like you said, they can do so many more things than a human can do in a fraction of a second. And that allows you to deal with all the environmental variables, to deal with the differences in water composition depending on where you are. And then you will still get a very high quality product. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to remove all the tedious things about growing, so that people can just grow and they can still benefit from trimming the plant and just enjoying the process of growing something, and then of course consuming it. But they don't have to deal with.
You mean they'll roll a joint for you too?
No, we haven't gotten there yet. We're trying to focus on just getting this machine out first. But of course, I mean, with our background, building industrial robots and things like that, there are many potential opportunities in this market. We want to make sure that we solve practical problems first, and growing is one of those.
Now, will this help in the sense so? You have a 10-room house. Mm-hmm. Each room would be different as to how the growing will work.
Correct.
Does your product help when it goes into that environment, help design the program that it will grow better in that room?
Yes, absolutely. So obviously, so the machine has a bunch of sensors and a bunch of pumps, and it takes all the readings from the environment. It also understands what the water composition is, and it takes all of these things into account to adjust the recipe for the plant. And obviously, we want to adjust for the different strains. They require different nutrients, the different stages of the plant, so whether it's in vegetation or in flowering stage. And we'll take all of this into account so that really users don't have to worry about anything.
Wow, that makes a big difference. And you can hide it.
You can hide it. So we designed it so that it can fit in a closet. You can put it in your basement. And depending on what people want to do, we've been talking to a lot of people who already grow cannabis at home. And as you as you identified, it's kind of a pain in the neck, right? And so you have all these buckets and all these lights, and it's just very expensive and very tedious. And so this device is even accessible for them. Even though they're experts, they have the ability to go into the app and specify different recipes that they want to adjust if they want to take their expertise into
Do
account.
you provide the lighting too, or just the?
We provide everything. So for $599, you get a little kit with a device, a light, you get the jar, you get a humidity pouch, you get gloves, you get snips, anything, right? We want to get rid of all the risk. And so you buy this $599 device, and within 30 minutes, you're set up, and you should expect good product in 9 to 16 weeks.
Well, I think that's great because now it gives you the ability. All right, I want to grow this, but I have three. You have 3 kids at home. Well, I want to make sure that they're not growing it.
Yes.
Or playing with it. But now you can put it anywhere, and this system develops it so it will meet its peak growing.
Correct. And just to clarify, I do have 2 kids only.
I have 3 kids.
You have
I'm
3
sorry.
kids.
I forgot about that third kid.
Trying to give them away.
But that's true, right? I mean, so we designed this device so that it fits in a closet, and the problems that we're trying to solve here are we want to give control back to the user, right? People are concerned about what it is that they're consuming, what they're eating. You want to make sure that things that you consume don't have pesticides, things like that. And so by growing at home, you know exactly what's in your product. We also want to give users privacy, right? So it's still illegal in some states to go get marijuana. It's still difficult to go to a dispensary. Some people, there's stigma attached to it. So growing at home enables you to consume cannabis without anybody else knowing. And the third one is we want to provide savings, right? Cannabis is still very expensive in dispensaries. I mean, Massachusetts, for example, announces $300. And so with a device like this, you could get your return in as early as the first grow.
And that's really cool thing is, and you mentioned the privacy. It's like the ability to do this at home. No one needs to know what you're doing.
Yes.
The savings.
Yes.
And it's actually fun.
Oh, it's super fun. I mean, everybody we talk to, they enjoy the process of gardening, right? And especially if you can guarantee that the plant is going to grow well, and all you have to do is just trim and keep. People name their plants. I mean, there's a lot of love that goes into this kind of stuff. And so we want to take all the good stuff, give it to the people, and we want to take all the tedious stuff and automate that.
That's actually a great way of looking at it. Who's your market you're selling to? Is this a business to business or business to consumer?
So it's probably going to be a business to consumer. And the reason I say that is, yes, we can sell online. You can go online and you can buy this product from us. But we are thinking that most of our customers are probably going to come from seed genetics labs, right? And genetics labs are going to be interested in selling our device because then it guarantees to their customers that they're going to grow a proper plant. And it also creates this recurring revenue for them, right? I mean, if they sell this device to their customers, then they're always going to come back and get seeds from them.
Well, I think that's true in the sense people like to blame someone else besides themselves for the problem. So it's easy to blame the seed. Oh, well, it was what I bought from them. Really, it's you. But by buying this product, it takes away that blame.
Yes.
And allows your seed to do what it's supposed to do.
Yes. And we're going to work with all the seed manufacturers, with the ones that we decide to partner with, to make sure that our product performs well for that kind of genetics. But we also intend to sell this online. I mean, e-commerce is phenomenal, and we intend to leverage that platform.
I think that's really good.
Do you want to talk a little bit about Boundless Robotics? Are there aspects beyond the cannabis space that you're doing here?
So right now we're focused on cannabis. The team is comprised of people who have developed industrial robots, consumer products. We are a very experienced team that knows how to design, build, and ship product. So we know that we're going to be successful in delivering something that is low cost yet robust. Right now, as a small company, there's only 5 of us. We're focusing on the cannabis industry because it is a growing space. Everybody is very passionate about this product. And once we start succeeding in it, we want to look at what other parts of the supply chain we might be able to automate. We might get into industrial. We might get into joint rolling. We might get into many different things. But we are taking a very practical approach, right? We're not doing this because it's a fun science project. We're trying to find problems in the market that are not currently being addressed. And we want to take our skills in manufacturing, robotics, and AI to solve those problems.
It's really showing proof of concept that, here's what we can do on this level.
Yes.
Potentially, this can go anywhere. I mean,
Well, this
it
can
go
go
into
anywhere.
someone who's 100,000 square feet to grow.
Yes. And the one thing that I think really drives us is, people are moving into cities, right? And people are very concerned about the food that they get. And there is this notion of vertical farming and hydroponics and all that other stuff, but it's still very expensive and out of reach. And one of the things that we might be able to do for the community is, as we invest in hydroponics for cannabis and we create the supply chain where we can really drive costs down, we may be able to transfer this into vertical farming and then grow lettuce with our technology or anything else for that matter at a low cost. Yeah.
I mean, artificial intelligence can do anything. You just tell what it wants to do.
Yes. And so we're going to be collecting a lot of usage data, not personal data. Again, privacy is very important for us, but usage data so that we can take this into account, create the right artificial intelligence, so then we can deploy it across.
So does the system talk back to a system or talk to a system so that way can this educate itself?
Yes. So there's two things that a user can do. If they really are concerned about their privacy, it could just be a standalone device that will not take AI into account. It just sits in your basement and nobody has to know. Yeah. But if you do want to connect it, then yes, it'll be feeding from itself. It'll be communicating to a central node. It'll be sharing information across all the devices across the US or wherever it's legal. And then all the information will feed back into the system so that if something, we understand that, for example, a type of component that's in the water is affecting the recipe in Colorado, and it's the same component that you have in Massachusetts, then we'll adjust the recipe so that it'll always learn and it'll always improve, right?
And it ends up producing a better product.
Exactly. Or a better yield, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah, both ways. Yeah.
So it goes both ways. So yeah, I mean, we're hoping to use all this technology to make the devices better. You can think of buying one of these devices, and it's only going to get better with time. So it's going to age. It's going to become more intelligent. And obviously, with our technology, and the more we get out there, the more devices that are deployed, the better the system will work.
The benefit to everybody, and actually benefit to the individual.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
Interesting. And I think you touched on it briefly, but is the product available now, or when do you see that?
So right now we're taking orders for beta testing.
Great.
And so, in the development process, you want to deliver some units at an earlier stage so that you can see how well they work. You can gather some feedback, and then you want to incorporate this feedback to really come up with a production unit. And so where we are is we're taking orders for beta units that we will deliver in early summer this year.
Great.
We intend to deliver the production units by summer of next year, and we want to get to 10,000 units by December of 2021.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. I want to remind everyone we've been speaking with Carl Palme, founder and CEO of Boundless Robotics. Carl, if somebody wants to sign up for that beta program or just get in touch with you guys, learn more about the program and the product, how could they do that?
Sure. Online, you can go to www.boundlessrobotics.com, or you can send me an email at carl@boundlessrobotics.com.
Great. And remind everyone, this has been Kings of Cannabis with Walter Sullivan.
And Nathan.
And Nathan, yeah. I want to thank everyone for listening and remind everyone to follow us on LinkedIn. We've got a really growing community there. And
no pun intended.
Yeah, and please subscribe to us on YouTube as well. You can see all of our interviews as they go live there and on our site, radioentrepreneurs.com. We'll be back with more interviews after